Okay, this is problem number 4 on the practice test for algebra. So on the first part, well, first you're given this equation y is equal to 10x plus 100, and it tells you that y is the amount of money in your bank account after you babysit for x hours. So on part A, you have to identify first the dependent variable. And usually we talk about the independent variable first, but the dependent variable should always be y. So in this case, the amount of money in your bank account is the dependent variable. And then the independent variable, which is x, should be the number of hours that you babysit. So you just drag and drop and figure out what the correct answer is there. And then on part B, you babysit for 4 hours. You want to find the domain and the range of the function. So if you babysit for 4 hours, the domain is x, and then you have to think about all the possible values of x. So I know that this is not graph, but the minimum or lowest number of hours that you could babysit is 0. So x is greater than or equal to 0. Here's actually how you have to write it with x in the middle. You actually have to write a compound inequality, even though we haven't gone over that in this class. And then the maximum number of hours that you could babysit is 4. So not only is x greater than or equal to 0, but less than or equal to 4 at the same time. Okay, this is continuous, so you have to write it like this. It can't just be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, because you can babysit for something like 1.5 hours, 1.25 hours, something like that. So this would be the domain, and then the range is y, or the amount of money in your bank account. So you actually have to plug this back in, 0, into the equation. 10 times 0 is 0, plus 100 is 100. So what that means is before you babysit, you really have $100 in your account already. So that's a minimum amount that you have in your account, $100. That's the amount that you start with. And then we're talking about the range, so that's y. Y would be greater than or equal to 100. And then you figure out like how much money, the most amount of money that you could have, and that would come from if you babysit for 4 hours. So you could substitute or plug that back into the equation for x. 10 times 4 is 40, plus 100, 140. So the maximum amount is 140. So what this is saying is like the amount of money in your account has to be at least $100, and then at most, that looks like a T. That's supposed to be less than or equal to, but then at most $140. So that would be the range of the function.